Hello and welcome to the Away Day Experience Show. My name's Sam Davis.
My name's Tom Jordan.
And once again, we're at the Pear at Parley. And what a beautiful day it is. It was supposed to be raining today, mate.
Storm Eunice. I mean, I'm loving it. I love Eunice. Credit to her, because, nice day today. And thought we'd go to Pear, mix it up a bit for the Away Day show. Why not?
Yeah, why not? And look, if you're a new viewer to this video, you might be a Blackpool fan. You might be interested in having a look at some of our other Away Day reviews, because you might have a match up against a team that we've already been to as well. And what we do on this show is talk about 6 key points, which I will refer to shortly. But as I've mentioned, you've probably picked it up already. Which club are we doing this week, mate? Blackpool!
Seaside.
The Tangerines, Seasiders, Bloomfield Road. And look, this is not about the football match. I mean, it was limbs.
I mean, it was. I mean, it wasn't the best game, but I tell you what, them limbs at the end, obviously you can appreciate as an away fan. That's what you dream of, isn't it? But yeah, we leave that bias at the door, don't we? We don't talk about the game, because that's not what it's about. It's about the whole away day experience as a whole, nothing to do with the football.
No, and with this one, we decided, as it's a relatively long way away, we thought we'd make a weekend of it. So a little bit of our review will include what it was like in the evening as well, but we're not going to score up and down because of that, because obviously some of them we can't stay at. But it was a Saturday kickoff, it was a 3 p.m.er, and that meant we could do a Friday and a Saturday stopover, mate.
It did, yeah. It was nice. I think that's probably one that most, because of the distance and stuff, and because of what Blackpool's like as a nice night out. I think a lot of people decided to kind of stay out for that one, didn't they? I mean, we took over 800 up there, which is quite a distance, which shows I think a lot of people stayed over, which was nice, good spirit, and good away following. So yeah, it was really enjoyable, mate.
And if you're a Blackpool fan, why not subscribe to this? You probably subscribe to Lee Charles TV, who's an excellent Blackpool YouTuber as well. So if you've come along from his channel, because he's put a couple of links our way, then why not subscribe to us? Especially when you see the rating. Well, we don't know yet. We could put them down the middle, down the bottom. We'll tell you later. This is the current tier list that you're seeing on screen at the moment. And look, we may recalibrate it, because what we do is often record these videos only a couple of days afterwards when we're excited or happy, but then you sort of contrast it later on and think, oh, actually, was it that good? At the moment, Bristol City are in the top tier. Yes, lads. And then you've got a plethora of teams in the next 2, decent and so-so. Nah, mate, though, we've got Stoke and Middlesbrough. Yeah. No one in absolute dog.
No, not yet, which is a good thing. And I think the Championship is, that doesn't surprise me. I think we've got some really good away grounds to go to, and away games in general. I think it shows our bias, though. The 2 in Nar, mate, 1 we lost, 1 we won. So yeah, it shows that we left the football at the door there. But yeah, that's probably expected. They're quite horrible trips for us. But yeah, nice little mix in there, mate. But there's a few places where there's a few gaps, so let's see how they get on.
Let's see how we get on. So what we're going to do, we're going to rate 6 different points out of 10, and then we're going to come up with an overall rating. We don't add it up, and we don't do it like that, but we just come up with a tier that we're going to put it in. So pre-match experience, mate, is one of the things we talk about. Yep. So that's like parking, pubs beforehand, and all the vibe.
Yeah, no, I was really happy with it. Obviously, we were staying at an Airbnb, weren't we? And we knew that parking was near there, so we just parked there and thought, right, now we'll work out how close it is to the pub we're going to see the away fans. And it was, 10-minute walk?
Yeah.
Ideal, wasn't it? And then you get to walk past a number of fish and chip shops, and nice, what Blackpool brings you, and seeing people on horses and stuff. But yeah, perfect little walk, ideal really. And went to the Manchester, didn't we, where all the Bournemouth fans were, and what an away pub that was.
What an away pub it was.
Love it.
Oh my goodness me. So
DJ.
It was really interesting. I mean, parking was absolutely fine. The weather was pretty poor. Like you say, you can imagine it'll be hustling and bustling in the height of the summer season.
Yep.
But there were still horses, there were still trams going along the seafront, fish and chip shops open, amusements and all that kind of stuff, candy floss stalls, all that kind of stuff. But the pub, right, whilst it's probably not to many people's liking, having this kind of constant loud music at 11 o'clock in the morning when you walk in, at least they're making something of it. These lot actually put on a show and what they think fans will like. So they put on a football sort of mega mix. They even played a couple of Bournemouth chants as well, and they made a really good effort. It's not to the liking of everybody. No. But it was a really good vibe, and I've got to say, it actually sort of got me well up for the game.
Yeah, I think you can appreciate some people who kind of want to get into a pub before and have a good chat and, you know, natter with people they maybe haven't seen for a while and talk about the football. And it wasn't one for that because it was very sing-songy, but like you say, I like the fact that they make a conscious effort of, right, it's a away day for these guys, let's make it a good one for them. And I think when I walked in, I thought, I can't hear myself here, but I think once you're in there for a while, you start getting into it. It's a really good vibe, and it was good. You could sing along, and I really like that. And all Bournemouth fans kind of congregated into one pub. It was nice, mate. And like you say, weather wasn't ideal to walk to it, but it wasn't bad enough to have to jump in a cab or anything. But that would have been an option as well. So yeah, it was ideal for me, mate. I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed the sing-song. And they even had, obviously it was muted because of the music, but they had all the football on loads of screens as well. Southampton Man U was the early game, so you can kind of watch that while listening to the tunes. It was, ideal.
And yeah, it was a relatively short walk. The stadium's actually fairly close to the town centre and to the beach. And there was another pub as well, Big Weatherspoons, the Velvet Coaster. And there were a number of sort of places where Bournemouth fans could drink at. So whatever you really wanted to do, then you could. And obviously Blackpool's a tourist town, so there's all sorts of tourist attractions. You're not short of things to do. Obviously the roller coasters and all that kind of stuff, whether they were open or not too sure.
Roller coaster of a game, wasn't it?
It was a roller coaster of a game. So in terms of the pre-match experience, I was pretty happy with it, and thought whilst it's not to everyone's liking, they put on a show, and you did really well with that. Out of 10, mate, what would you give it?
Yeah, it's got to be high for me. I'm going to go for an 8.
8.
Probably would have been 9 if you could just, but I'm trying to put it into context that maybe you couldn't hear yourself all the time. It would have been nice to have a bit, and it was only kind of out the front. There was a little, so we were doing obviously our vlog for the game. Kind of had to go out the front to do it because you couldn't hear yourself. But otherwise it would have been a 9. But it's got to be an 8, mate. I'm well happy with it.
Brilliant. Okay, so what other categories have we got coming up? We talk about the stadium, the concourse and facilities, food and drink, the view, and also the home fan decibel level as well. So there we go, that's the first of our scores. And look, we cover the pre-match experience, the stadium, the concourse and facilities, the view, and also the home fan decibel level. So keep watching, because we're going to be doing some more ratings. In the meantime, I've just noticed that there's a couple of you watching this video right now that button underneath this video is red, and it should be grey. What do they need to do, mate?
Just click it. God, we really appreciate it. And and like you say, just click the subscribe button, click that like button while you're there. It takes 2 seconds and it gets it out to more people. Really appreciate it. And just do it. I'm fed up of saying it, mate. I don't know why people ain't doing it.
I guarantee we're nice people and we're not horrible about anyone. Maybe in the vlogs we get a bit shitty, but honestly, if you appreciate EFL content and maybe Premier League content next season, fingers crossed, then why not consider subscribing to the channel? It really helps us grow. We truly do appreciate it from the bottom of our heart. Right then, the stadium, Bloomfield Road, and it's an interesting one because it's been one that's been redeveloped on 3 of the sides, but we were in one of the older stands. But even still, I thought it was on the right ground. Yeah,
I've been there once before, and it is a nice enough ground. It's nothing spectacular, but it's also not grim and horrible. I'm always happy to go there. It's kind of one I don't see anyone really complaining about, the stadium, but it's also not one that's probably at the top. But yeah, I like it. Still got a good bit of character about it, which if you've watched any of the previous ones, I like. It's still got that old school feel to it, but also it's kind of redeveloped over the years. So yeah, I like it, mate. It's just what I want from a good championship away ground, to be honest. So yeah, I was more than happy with the stadium, and I think they should be pleased with it. I think Blackpool pride themselves having a good stadium with a good bit of character. So yeah, really enjoyed it.
One of the things that I wasn't happy was the quality of the pitch wasn't overly great. I mean, look, we couldn't use that as an excuse, and thankfully we didn't have to, given that we got the win. And look, the pitch was in arguably worse condition when a number of seasons ago we went there and won 6-1, but it didn't look great. Part of me at the time was like, do they share this with a rugby team as well? But they don't.
Don't bring up the 6-1, they're going to unsubscribe.
Especially on the near side of the pitch, I didn't think it was particularly good. But in terms of that stand that is maybe subpar. That's where some of the media team go at the moment. So you're looking out over the three sides. That I think it really contained the noise, and we'll talk about that later on. But apparently Blackpool Football Club is actually working with the town's council in order to deliver a new east stand at Bloomfield Road, and that includes the creation of community pitches, business and commercial facilities, and a number of other things, well, of which there will be an east stand built in as well. That stand actually was built as a temporary stand when Blackpool got to the Premier League, but it's still in place. We've heard all about that before, haven't we?
We have indeed. Yeah, long time. When were Blackpool in the Premier League?
2011.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. 2009, sorry.
Okay, yeah. No, I remember that. That was...
No, maybe it was 2011. I don't know, mate.
It was a while ago. But yeah, I remember they had a decent side then, just thinking about it now off the top of my head. But yeah, like the stadium, like I say, good character, and they look like they're redeveloping it as well. So yeah, they should be happy with that.
Out of 10?
I'll go for a solid 7.
Brilliant. Lovely stuff. Okay, let's move on to the concourse and facilities as well. And I thought it was fairly spacious. We didn't take that many. I think we took about 900 or so.
Yeah.
Seemed to be a fair bit of room in there, and then you could almost kind of spill out-ish onto the kind of, not quite outside, but it had quite a large area where you could sort of congregate, which was very airy.
Yeah.
And I quite liked it.
Yeah, I quite liked it. I think it's one, as you say, I think we took about 800-900, and I think that was ideal for that. Not too crowded, enough room. Yeah, we've been to a few this season where you think, God, how do they get it when there's more fans? It's so blooming claustrophobic. But it was ideal, and I was thinking if they had a few hundred more, it would be fine as well. So yeah, I was more than pleased with it. One of the better ones, I would say. We've had a few that are a bit dodgy, and I was more than happy with it. It's one with the concourse facilities. I think if you don't have to complain about it, it's probably pretty decent.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was more than happy with it, mate.
Toilets, you didn't have to queue for ages, and I thought, yeah, plenty of room. I thought the facilities were really good. There were visible, accessible toilets as well, so everything looked hunky-dory with regards to that. Out of 10, mate?
Solid 7 again, I think.
Solid 7. Right then. Food and drink. Did you have anything to eat?
I don't think I did.
I did. I went down, right, so I went down on 30 minutes after Dom's missed penalty. Because I needed to go to the toilet as well. Got some food. I think I got I got a pie. I got a pie, and the pie was actually all right. Pie was good. Sometimes you have pies and they're so flaky with the pastry, and it's all pastry. But this was like slightly soft, which meant that, there was good filling in it as well. I was very happy with that. Beer selection as well, I thought it was fairly standard from what I remember.
Fairly standard, but yeah, it was fine. And like you say, it seemed like a lot of people were eating. You were happy with the pie, so yeah.
Did you have to queue long for a?
Not
for a
really.
Drink?
No, and I think I went down just after they scored. Worldy, by the way. And then, yeah, and you kind of saw it coming in at half-time. You could tell it was half-time. A lot of people coming in. But they moved it quite quickly, I thought. They had a good... Sometimes you sit and they've got like one member of staff. Yeah. But they had a few there and they were working quickly. So, and I managed to kind of see my pint off and get out for the second half quite comfortably. So, yeah, it was good. Drink was fine, mate. And, yeah, like you say, you were happy with the pie. So, nothing to moan about.
When you think about it, you might, because you do go down on 38, but even sometimes when you've been going down on like 38 minutes, I'll come down at half time and you're still in the queue, which leaves you 10 minutes to finish a pint. Who wants to drink that quickly? No one does. You just want to have a leisurely drink, talk with your friends about what you've just witnessed, penalty miss and wonder goal. And there seemed to be plenty of time, so you must have got served quite early, and I got served very well, and I actually walked out back to my seat just as Josh Bowler was scoring that absolute pearler of a shot. So yeah, I was quite happy with the food and drink offering. What are you going to give out of 10?
I feel like I'm repeating myself, but it's got to be a solid 7 again, isn't it? It's above average, clearly. So got to be a 7 for me.
Now the view at Bloomfield Road, in our stand, because it's an older one, there were a number of pillars, but there were only a few of them. I could only count like 3 or 4, so it didn't really get in the way or spoil the view too much. I was sort of relatively at the front. I think even if you were back, you had a solid view. I thought it was all right. I
was quite pleased with it, actually. Yeah, I kind of went in 2 different spots, so you kind of sit where you want, couldn't you? First, second half, and I thought it was really good. And for the limbs at the end, it was quite easy to get down the front. But yeah, I was quite happy with the view. I remember thinking, if you quite comfortably see both ends. I didn't have any problems with it, mate. So I'm thinking to other games, and I'm thinking it's one of the better ones for me. There might be some people, like you say, there was a few players, but I didn't really notice. I thought it was really good. I was really happy with it. Sometimes when you're on the kind of side, I think, I want to be behind a goal.
Yeah.
But I thought for one of the side views, it was one of the better ones, I thought.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought that too. And look, there was plenty of space to sit down, and there was enough room for limbs. Not enough room though for Dan Parsons, who managed to fall over in the celebrations. Here's his picture. Oh, Dan, oh mate,
That's what it's all about.
That is what it's all about. That went viral on Instagram. That picture.
He didn't dislocate his shoulder, did he?
No, he didn't.
No.
He didn't do a Richard Jackson.
No.
But, and look, I think at some stage we've got to mention the staff, and I think why not mention it now?
Yeah, cool.
Really friendly. They dealt with Richard Jackson, who did dislocate his shoulder, as you'll have seen from our vlog, very, very well. You'll see that Richard has now recovered. He's slightly aching, but Lloyd Kelly sent him a shirt. That was nice,
Really
wasn't
nice, yeah, really nice touch, and he was very complimentary of the kind of staff and,
Yeah.
and things like that, and how they've all dealt with it. Both clubs really, before and after, and yeah, I thought everyone I met was really friendly, to be honest. If we're kind of going into that,
fans as well.
Yeah, great.
I find with Blackpool, like, there's no sort of delusions of grandeur that you get with some clubs.
They know what they are. And they love it.
They know what they are. They got up to the Premier League. They didn't expect it. They know that they should, they are an established Championship side, and they are looking to progress. But you don't see this entitlement. And I think sometimes maybe as Bournemouth fans, we possibly do act like that, but that's only because of the talent we've got on the pitch.
Yeah.
And look, they're a side that, a very like family club. And I saw from Lee Charles's video with, he was sat next to Jane in the stand where they sit, and she almost had a tear in her eye when talking about Josh Bowler, because he's such a good player, and she said in all her years of supporting, she's never seen a player that good grace the tangerine shirt. And I think it's a club that if you can keep him, oh my goodness, you know what, you could push on next season.
I'll tell you what, if you look at it, I'm not being funny, we were one of the clubs sniffing around him. There were definitely people, it was quite evident that people wanted him on the last day. His decision to stay there, I think that says a lot about the progression the club's going in.
Yep.
We're going off onto the football a little bit here, but I just want to say that Blackpool in general are such an easy team to like. I think that's what I'd say about them.
Yeah, I agree.
Because the place is good fun, the stadium's nice, as we're talking about, the fans love it, and the team now on the pitch are a team that I can imagine Blackpool fans really find it easy to get behind.
Yeah.
And I mentioned it, didn't I, before the game? They're the type of team that I think, could they knock on the door next season for the play? I wouldn't surprise me, but they should be proud of their team, and nice place to go. And Josh Bowler is a hell of a player. I hope he sticks around for another season, because I think that could be key for him.
Excellent. So
food and drink we done, and then we've gone on to view. To be honest, I was really happy. I'm going to give it an 8 for the view. I really liked it, mate, from my perspective anyway.
When you've got a stand that's not a cantilever stand, you will have the pillars, but they weren't obtrusive. It wasn't like Luton where they were every 5 metres or so. So I was quite pleased with that. Right, home fan loudness. Now, I know that we all appreciated how loud they were at Dean Court, because they were probably some of the loudest fans that we had. Even at 2-0 down, they were singing, and look, that sort of gave the team the impetus to draw back 2-2 in the space of not long at all, only a few minutes before those 2 goals were scored. Jerry Yates, I think, notched the penalty to make it 2-2. And sometimes we've said it, like, our fans are better away, not so good at home. Not the case with them. They were equally loud at home, I thought.
We've been, if you want to look at our previous kind of away day reviews, I reckon the average rating for kind of the loudness from home fans has been 3 or 4.
Yeah.
It's been, and we've always said, we know we're the same. It's just the way it is. But these were different. I think Borough were pretty good, and the only game I missed was Derby, but you all said Derby were good. You could hear it on telly. These were above them, in my opinion. Yeah. Best home fans I've heard. As you say, they were really good at our place, and I kind of thought, was that because, it was a away day and they come back from 2-0 down? But clearly not. Thought fair play to them. And even at the end of the game, they just lost on the last kick of the game, and they're still there, And maybe that's because of what they're doing on the pitch at the moment. They're proud of their team, as we just mentioned. But really impressed, because it's very evident going to all the away games that the home fan decibel levels are pretty mediocre at best. These were different, and I really enjoyed it, because it's nice to hear a home fan base really getting behind their team. and yeah, they were really helpful for their boys, and I was really impressed, mate. I was. I thought Borough were good. I thought Borough might be the best actually, but these were the best for me. I don't know if you agree.
Yeah, I agree, and it helps somewhat with regards to their stadium design. Obviously, it's only sort of filled in on three sides, but they've got sort of as many rows as we have, I think, in our main stand, north stand, but they're slightly steeper, and they've got quite a high roof, which allows the sound to sort of, reverberate around, and it carried, and it helps that all three sides seemingly were singing. Whereas on us, it's very much kind of like the north stand and the south stand singing like half-heartedly, whereas they were going for it. So, decibel level, mate, out of 10.
It's got to be high. I think go back to what you were saying previously about that entitlement. They haven't got that, and I think that shows in their, the fans just getting behind their team. For me, because it's the best I've had so far, I'm giving it a 9.
9.
Highest we've ever had, by the way.
Highest we've ever had. Wow. Okay. So, overall rating, let's take another look at our table then. And I'm sort of looking at comparable sides here, mate, in terms of the away day experience, and we've got a number in decent as well. I mean, from what we've been saying, I don't think this is going in the bottom two categories.
Absolutely not.
Possibly not even the middle one. So, right, let's pick. Where are we going to put it?
Yeah, I think as you mentioned before, I think sometimes it's difficult because you do some games and then you look back at it and compare to other teams and go, oh, this one for me is easy. It's the easiest one I've done. I'm looking forward to doing it. Yes, lads. It's at the top. And you think of the distance we have to travel, and it's still going to yes, lads. Mate, it ticked every box for me. It's got to be up there, and you can see that from all the previous ratings, but has to be, don't you agree?
Yeah, I mean,
got to be.
Part of me thinks that, Bristol City...
It's better than, don't get me wrong, Bristol City are in yes, lads, but Blackpool's in yes, lads more so.
Yeah.
It's number one. It's number one on away days for me. Definitely, without question. And I probably beforehand, I kind of in my head, I think, what do I expect this to be? I've been there once before. I thought it might get decent, but because of the travelling and how far it is, it might go in the middle.
Yeah.
So it's not like I had this preconceived. I loved it, and even from the fact of them being loud, everything just ticked all the boxes, mate. So it's right at the top, and it's going to be. We've got a few to go, but I'm going to be surprised if anyone gets up there with them. I think it's probably going to be the best for the season.
And we didn't even touch on the night out or anything like that, but we had a good night out in the evening as well on Saturday. Loads of places to go as well. Everyone really, really friendly, no trouble. AFC Bournemouth fans were on the dance floor in Pop World, and there weren't any issues. Honestly, really, really enjoyed it, and you're sort of looking at this like tier list now. There's sort of teams that are up the top there, and you just think, oh god, it's actually going to be a shame when we get promoted, because we're not going to be able to go to Forest. We aren't going to be able to go to Blackpool.
I do like that you said when we get promoted. No, listen, we've said there's obviously loads of reasons why we need to get promoted, and that's what it's part of football. But I love the Championship. Yeah. There's a reason why. There's only 2 in now, mate, and none at the bottom tier, an absolute dog. There's a reason for that. But Blackpool, hats off to you, because you thoroughly deserve to be in yes, lads. Absolutely loved it, mate. And obviously we've taken all the bias away from the pitch, but that just gave it a little cherry on top, didn't it?
Cherry on top. So there are more away day reviews on the way. More away days. Swansea. That's always a good one, but it's going to be a midweeker, so not too sure. Who else will be? Preston's on the way at some point
Couple
soon.
in Yorkshire, Sheffield, Huddersfield.
Yeah,
we've got Blackburn at the end. So Coventry.
A
few nice ones, but like you say, all of this, you can go back and watch them all. We just do it on that day. So some, like you said, Swansea, it might play into the part because it was midweek. We just got to go off that one day. Blackpool, 3 o'clock, absolutely beautiful day. Wasn't, was it? But yeah, everything was spot on, mate. So they've earned that, and I've been looking forward to seeing. I mean, if a team gets above them, it's going to be a hell of a away day, mate.
Love it.
Hell of an away day.
Right. Thank you for watching. Really appreciate it. See you in the next video.
Bye.
Up the Ches.
Up the Ches.
And also up the Tangerines, eh?